Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Casper Network, aka Cspr. So with that being said, I hope that you are all having a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are out there in the world. So we have been witnessing altcoins having a nice move in the overall market. Now I'm recording this a little bit earlier in the day, but regardless, in the long-term span here, in the next couple weeks, months ahead, we are about to start to see major moves across the board. And I'm talking about very significant moves on altcoins. We are about to experience a massive alt season, and I do believe that Casper should 100% be focused on, because I do think that Casper is going to have a major bull run behind it, because this would be the first official bull run for Casper. And all of those out there that have been very negative regarding Casper, talking about it because of IPW going bankrupt, oh, Casper's dead, Casper's going back down to 2 cents. I do think that all of those people are going to regret butting Casper at the bottom. So let's actually talk about that. Like I said, altcoins right now, they are going. Listen, there's a lot of them that are doing very good. Meme coins have been the biggest movers so far in the market, but I do think that that is about to change. I do think that a lot of that money is going to be tossed around, specifically around some pretty big altcoins, and it's going to trickle down. Now, does Casper get a lot of that? Not initially. I do think that Casper will have a big bull run behind it, but we still are a little bit early on Casper. The number one thing that I've been watching is the 1-year chart for CoinMarketCap. Just on CoinMarketCap, listen, we don't even have to go to the TradingView chart, which we will address at the end of this video. But when we look at this, right, the number one thing that I'm watching on Casper at this current moment in time is higher highs. Once we get over that 6.5 cent level, it's game over. We're probably going to teleport to 10 cents very fast. It's kind of very similar to HBAR, right? I've been talking about HBAR for a little bit of time now, and I've been saying, you know, we're going to go to 15 to 20 cents once we get over that 10 cent zone. And currently speaking, we've been watching HBAR having a great time in the market. Now, Casper has been a little bit shy, but I do think that's starting to come out of its shell. And I'm watching for a higher high in this scenario. We've been holding on to that higher low pattern for a very long time now. Even during the most bearish time in the market for Casper, aka IPW, Casper still maintained that higher low pattern. Now, I do have to give a big shout out to Dobby XRP over on Twitter. We have been listening to a lot of blockchain backer about developer activity in the last year as a sign of strength for the bull market. Obviously, this is a massively bullish sign on Casper. And honestly, I haven't been watching developer activity quite a bit on Casper, but just recently, this post got me to go check it out. Now, as we look at developer activity, it is a very significant statistic, because I've been following it with Hedera, because I've been utilizing it as a statistic to follow to alleviate the FUD and the noise, because when you're starting to see a lot of developer activity, that means that building is happening on the network. That means that there is someone there working, building, and possibly close to launching some great applications on the network, which will immediately affect the actual token that powers the network. Now, I did want to check out the developer activity for myself, so I went over to Sentiment and I actually found out a very interesting statistic here and correlation between developer activity and price. That correlation is a spike in price when we do get a spike in dev activity. And right now, if we actually look at development activity on Casper, this is spiking pretty heavily. Now, the last time that we had a spike like this was back in May and June of 2023. Go back to Casper, or even if we actually go back here on the price chart up here, we could see April into May of 2023 is when we had these big spikes in terms of price action. So now we are watching to see if we are going to create that higher high and break over the April-May highs. And once we do, like I said, teleportation at 10 cents could be on the table, which could ultimately lead to a much larger expansion on price action. which I'm very, very excited about. Now, beyond this, let's go over to this video that got posted by Wrecked Wojak. Now, this is a 7+ minute long video, so you guys already know I have to speed it up a little bit. I don't want to waste a lot of your guys' time, so I'm going to put it to about roughly 1.5x speed. If it is too fast, you guys are more than welcome to slow it down. But we have, this is the most powerful bullish update about Casper, and this is the director of ecosystem development at Casper, as she reveals the developments happening on Casper, DeFi, gaming, listings, and more. If this doesn't induce FOMO, I don't know what will. Casper community, please like and retweet this video. Let's go.
I'm happy to give an update. So we're laser focused on different areas for the ecosystem and Casper in general. One is, as you guys have seen, access for Cspr. So we're working with a dedicated team hard on listings, on-ramps, off-ramps, and in increasing the number of partners that can offer Cspr across geographies. So that's one key thing. Another key areas is, of course, developer experience, developer acquisition. So on the DevX, I believe people are aware of Audra and, all these frameworks that are aimed to abstract the difficulty to build on Casper and making it much easier. There's lots of available documentation around Audra, so maybe you can share that. In terms of developer acquisition, we're going to transform the Dev Rewards grant program, although we've been able to collaborate with quite a few developers on Casper through this program. So we're going to evolve it, and it's going to be, we're investigating how to make it a kind of badge system where certain achievements get you a certain grade and badge in terms of a developer in Casper. And you get associated benefits and rewards that are very, interesting, not only Cspr tokens, but, other benefits. In terms of our ecosystem, and, I'm just going to mention 4 areas where we're laser focused. And these ones are, a gasless experience on Casper, stablecoins on Casper, DeFi, primitives, and gaming. So these are core areas of focus for the ecosystem. And what that means is, for gasless experience, so there is a grant that's called the Casper Gas Station. It's going to be open source code for any DApp to use to create a gasless experience on Casper. That means that end users are not submitted to gas fees. They don't see it. They don't need it to get started with an application. And on the DApp builder side, they can work with a relayer to buy the gas fees and basically have a predictable way of knowing how much gas fees they need every month or every period of time. So there is open source code available. There's also going to be probably a SaaS subscription model where you can work with a relayer that's going to provide the gas fees and you're going to pay a monthly fee for it. This is very nice, and it's going to work seamlessly with the update from Condor. Then the second thing that I'm focusing on is, of course, stablecoins with our team. So we're working with the DCENT Fund team to have a Cspr USD. They've already started building. They have a grant, and they're using a third party to build the technical part, including multi-sig client API dashboard. DCENT Fund has already also secured their funds with a US custodian bank, and they will issue the equivalent of $250,000 in Cspr USD, and they will also contribute another $250,000 in liquidity on Casper DEXs. And we have the first iteration on testnet already. We're also basically investigating a Euro stablecoin with a institutional provider. So I'll share more details about that when we have a formal agreement. Then in terms of DeFi, of course, what I've explained to everybody is that we've been building all the primitives and the infrastructure since, last 2 years. So we have AMMs and DEXs already. We're adding more. We have oracles like Fluidify, and Redstone is building also their oracle. In terms of bridges, .oracle is now called Paradiso. And we'll have RocketX as well in terms of facilitating asset transfer on the network. So we have a good base. We just also added Alchemy Pay in terms of on-ramp, off-ramp. So from this base, we have also a dedicated team that's assessing the gaps, the liquidity needs, mapping also all the investors. So there's a lot of Casper investors potentially that could provide liquidity for our network. So we're doing a full mapping of these investors, how much they want to contribute, under which circumstances, etc. And once the gap assessment is done, we will also then get all the DeFi protocols that we see as beneficial for the network onto Casper. We're focusing mainly to start with on liquid staking and restaking. So that's gonna bear some fruits. In terms of gaming, you've talked about it, Maciej. Beast League is really an amazing Web2 game, AAA game that's super addictive, super polished, and it's gonna soon be live with the Web3 elements all built on Casper. It's seamlessly integrated with the Make Cspr suite of products. So we are super excited for that. It's really, almost everything is ready. It's really a decision of when to launch, etc. in terms of the Web3 elements. So we're supporting that team. And then we have many other games launching on Casper. Tornado Master that we've been building in partnership with, they built it actually, Jump Trade and Garden Link. So that's very exciting. There is also a future game that's going to work with Roblox. We'll be able to share details later. That's built by Casper Dash. and will include this gasless experience, by the way. And then finally, Sutton Garden, lots of different projects coming on gaming, more to come. But until Condor and until we have a fuller platform, we're just trying to execute and get things live on the Casper network. In terms of, what gets measured gets better, I think it's very interesting. So we're tracking every month our activity across many different KPIs, one being average daily deploys, and we see a big uptake. By the way, in January, we removed the inscription from this stat. So even outside of inscriptions, we see an uptake in activity. Of course, we really want to get to bigger numbers, but I think it's very interesting that we're tracking all these KPIs on Casper and making sure they go in the right direction. Also with wallets, we see clear uptake in the number of wallets and meaningful wallets. So this is one of our priorities, and we see an upward trend, which is also very nice. Thanks for having me, Mache. It was very nice.
Now, again, hearing all of this and going back to the developer activity, you could see that, listen, a lot is happening on Casper right now. They are building, they are pushing updates. This is very, very significant. This is why I have been extremely bullish on Casper, especially going into one of the biggest alt seasons in crypto history. I personally think that if you are avoiding Casper at this point, and if you're not, doing research regarding Casper, I think that you might miss out on one of the biggest plays this season. I think that this could very well become the ADA of this bull run. And I know that that's crazy to say, but we have been talking about it for a while on how it kind of feels like this is the ADA of this cycle. And I think that now we're finally starting to see a lot of the work that has been put in behind the scenes around Casper being realized in. And some of that is the infrastructure, right? Pushing a lot of these infrastructure updates around Condor and Peregrine, things like that. Like all of that, it's opening the doors for a lot more activity on the network, a lot more applications to be built out, a lot more development activity to be realized in. I could not be any more excited about Casper, especially for the future. And when we go back over here to the USDT chart, the big thing that I'm watching for on the weekly is a break over this trend line. Now, we could very well range here for a little bit of time before we get that big breakout, but regardless, I'm expecting a big move on Casper this year. And I could not be any more excited about having Casper as my number one holding. My confidence around Casper has not diminished at all. And like I said, back in the beginning of this video, we have these, higher lows. Here's a low, higher low, higher low, followed by another higher low over here, higher low. And now all we are expecting is a higher high, because so far back in January and even December, we got a lower high. So what we are watching for is a higher high above almost 6.5 cents. Until we get that, we're going to be remaining patient. We're going to be remaining calm and just focus on that end goal, which is alt season is just beginning. We're not even there yet. We're not even in the first mile of it. We still have a long journey in front of us, and it's going to be a very exciting one as well. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.